This one is the War Medal.
Gordon Smith wears his medals with pride. When he was 14, he volunteered with Britain's Civil Defense Corps, carrying stretchers bearing the dead and wounded. 3 years later, he decided he wanted to do more.
I heard the siren sound, and then shortly afterwards, I heard this plane noise. It was what they called a V1. That is a flying bomb. It was a V1 because it was a vengeance weapon that Hitler wanted to use against civilian population.
It exploded near his home, damaging it badly.
I went later to a recruiting office and said I want to join the Royal Navy.
He sailed the North Sea searching for debris and bodies and was on guard on VE Day. After the war, he immigrated to Canada and served in the Royal Canadian Air Force for nearly 2 decades. He then volunteered for another 20 years with the Royal Canadian Legion, visiting veterans in long-term care, where he's always thought he would end up himself.
And it's the comradeship. It's the fact that you'll be talking to people who have had similar experiences.
They're completely disqualifying him on the fact that he wasn't with the Canadian Forces at the time.
Smith's granddaughter says Veterans Affairs has told her family he won't be given a bed at Halifax's Camp Hill Veterans Memorial because the majority of beds at that facility are for war veterans, and Smith's service during wartime wasn't with the Canadian Forces, but rather an Allied force. 29 beds are currently empty.
He risked his life for us. So for me, that it's not acceptable.
There are some beds set aside for veterans who served with Allied forces, but there are none available, and there's a wait list. Now 91, Smith's health is declining and his mobility decreasing. Which is most important to you?
I'd have to say the Defence Medal.
Why?
I think it was more touching. I carried so many injured and dead. It stays with me.
All he wants is to finish his days in a place he feels comfortable with his comrades.
Okay.
Kayla Hounsell, CBC News, Hubbards, Nova Scotia.